So welcome aboard, everybody. I'm Aditya Duggal, and this is some new hack. I would call it, not a real development as such. It's more of a hack. We've tried to actually address a problem. We have been using ERPNext for the past 10 to 15 years, 10 years, I think so, 2010. And the manufacturing is something which we were not tracking because ours is a process-based manufacturing. We are into manufacturing of cutting tools. So bombs and everything never used to work for us. So this is with the lockdown and COVID, I think I had a lot of time which I could save on traveling. And that's, I think, where I got to have this idea where why not we have something for process-based manufacturing. So basically, what is the current scenario of manufacturing in ERPNext? Basically, in ERPNext, we are making bombs for every item code. You could have many bombs, right? And in our case, it was too cumbersome. We had around 10,000 items. Every item would have around about 10 to 15 bombs. We would get close to 100,000 bombs in that sense.
Aditya, I'm sorry, and I don't know, maybe the others have got a better audio or something, but can you be a little louder because I can barely hear you?
Just a second. I think now it should be better. Is it better now?
I'm sorry.
Hello?
Yes, it is, Aditya. It's better.
Okay. Okay. So we were, so with the 100,000 bomb templates, it was something as a management, we took a decision. We are not going to go for bombs because it's too cumbersome and the people who are going to do the data entry are going to get confused all the times. The new system is actually works along with the bomb templates, the bombs, and we have actually made a parallel system, more or less. It is mainly a rule-based system instead of a static where you actually don't define it. Instead of bomb, we are making bomb templates. And once the bomb templates are defined, it's basically like if you have 10,000 item codes and I'm talking about 100,000 bomb templates. Here, bombs, now we have only around about 150 bomb templates because of which we can control all the 10,000 items given the with all the kind of variations as well. So one item can be manufactured from 2 or 3 raw materials. So with 150 odd bomb templates, we are able to control that 100,000 bombs basically. And once the bomb templates are basically a blueprint actually, which and of that after that we have process sheets, which is more like a work order currently in the system. Once you submit a process sheet, material gets into planning, and once the process sheet is submitted, it will create the job cards where exactly the real thing happens. So if you have an item which you want to manufacture for 5, which has 5 processes, so you will define those 5 processes in the BOM template.
Aditya, would you mind, getting your microphone closer to your mouth or something, if you don't mind, please?
I'm actually wearing a headphone.
Oh, okay.
So I don't, okay, I'll just again, because my computer is saying it's too loud.
For my side, actually sound is good. I don't know about others. Now,
because it's automatically reducing the volume.
Yes, that is why. Because once you are increasing the sensitivity, it's increasing the background noise. So for me, it's fine. I don't know about others.
No, when you do that, it starts off being fine, and then it kind of like again becomes very soft.
But now it's fine, right?
Yeah, now it's fine. Yeah.
Okay.
For me, always fine. Okay.
Anyhow, so with the bomb templates, once they're a blueprint, we have the process sheet. Process sheet is more like a production order or a work order. And once you submit the process sheet, it will automatically create, let's say if you have 10 processes defined in the BOM template for one item to be manufactured from the raw material, then on submission of the process sheet, it creates 10 job cards basically. We have actually tweaked the names not to conflict with the existing. So that is why the names are process sheet and process job card RHPL, so that I know nobody can name that in that sense. And basically what happens is that the user submits the job card and a stock entry at the back end is happening. And after this, what we have done is we have stopped all the permissions for users to make any stock entry. So they can create a stock entry, but they cannot submit the stock entry because stock entries were kind of very loosely bound to the system actually. Issues were the earlier system was it was too cumbersome. As I said, we had to have around 50K or 100K work orders, and it was not very intuitive. Old system was mainly manual and there were very few validations. So basically there was no way I could, if item A was supposed to be produced from raw material XYZ, what we used to have in earlier system is that a stock entry used to happen and you people used to, since we had not defined the bombs, so they could actually consume XYZ instead of 10 quantity, they could consume 100 quantity. Those kind of problems used to come. What were the objectives when we started out with this thing was to automate the decision making first, as every person should in the organization should be able to make a decision that which item is more important for production and how much is to be produced, and capture who is actually is producing in which machine and which operator is doing it and how much time they took. And the data entry should be easy because in India, I will say the people who are doing the data entry are not very computer savvy. They are not the power users. So they will like to have two or three options. That's it. Not a lot. In stock entry, what used to happen, they used to select the warehouses, the item code, then the quantity. It was kind of difficult for them at least. That is why we used to have a lot of data entry errors. And what are the future plans? What we have tried to do here is the auto submission of the process sheet. Currently, the process sheet is automatically created. So if there is an order for an item, as soon as you submit a sale order, the system will run a cron job where it will check whether the item is in stock or not. And if it is not in stock, it will create a process sheet so that the production team gets to know that this much quantity is needed to be manufactured. Next could be, yes, we can link the machines directly to the ERPNext, and the data entry people are also freed out. And the machine operators are the ones who are doing the entry. That's a long shot, something similar to Industry 4.0. And so now what I'll do now, I will start to switch my screen sharing from this presentation to the actual uh, system which everybody want to see. So there are some few settings which we have for this thing. Here the future time setting is there. So effectively what happens is that if you're making a job card entry at around 5 o'clock in the evening, we had a situation that the person wanted to enter, sir, the material is gonna get ready by 8 o'clock and I need to leave. So so that is why we gave that leeway so that a person can actually make a stock entry in future as well by 3 hours. This is an ROL multiplier, reorder levels. We try to link it up with the valuation rates. It's kind of complex. Obviously, I didn't really wanted to explain it in this session itself. It basically is something like if you are manufacturing some item for say 2000 Indian rupees. So getting that onto a machine is more expensive because the machine cost would be itself 5,000 rupees. So effectively what we do is instead of manufacturing only 2,000 rupees of that item, we manufacture 20,000 rupees for future as well, even though we might not have the ROLs and everything. So it's kind of based on that logic where you don't want to manufacture one quantity where the cost of manufacturing for one or maybe 100 is almost same. Then there is auto process sheet value. Basically, what the system, here we are defining that 5,000 rupees is the minimum benchmark. So if an item is for the valuation rate is only 50 rupees, so you would need at least 100 quantity for the process sheet to be made automatically by the system. This is basically done again to avoid situations where the system says there is a shortage of one piece and it will create a process sheet for just one piece, which is not uh, feasible in real manufacturing environment. Similarly, the base ROL multiplier and minimum ROL value is something similar on that level. We are also calculating the reorder levels in our organization for items on a cron basis. Every quarterly, the reorder levels are checked based on the sales and everything. And then this checkbox is for check overlap for machines. It's basically if you check this, you will need to enter the timings for machine. If you don't check it, you don't need to enter the timings for the machine. Now we get to a BOM template. What I'll do, I'll just switch the screen to the actual. Can you see my screen right now, Jay?
Yes.
It's
So
still presentation actually.
okay, I don't. I have. I want to change from the.
Yeah,
I'll
remarks
change.
is free test only is what we can see right now.
Okay, no, I'll just share. Okay, I can't share the whole screen. Okay, now I think so you can see the manufacturing part, right?
Yes.
Yes, we can.
Okay. Okay, so now we come back to the BOM templates. This is the blueprint. As I said, we have
Aditya,
196.
is this version 13 or version 12?
This is version 12.
12. Okay, cool.
But I checked it out. It's
Okay,
compatible with version 13 as well.
nice.
So effectively, we only have 196 BOM templates. And we have been using this system for the last 3 months now. This report is also there, which helps us to find which BOM templates are applicable. So I'll just explain what exactly is happening on a BOM template. So this remarks is a free text. It is only for the reference part. And this is a formula basically for total quantity. So here, if you see, I know you might, it's not very intuitive for the users, but if you have some knowledge about the formulas, then it's basically converting the quantity into an integer. And it is basically taking overall length of the raw material, adding 6 and dividing it by the overall length of the finished item. So the only thing static in this BOM template is that for everything in finished items, you have to add FG underscore. So FG underscore is for finished goods, RM underscore is for raw material, and WIP underscore, if you see anywhere, it's for work in progress. So what we have done here is that it has got a few tables. This is the formula. It will calculate the total quantity of raw material which will be required for manufacturing a certain amount of finished items. So you can change the formula. We have one formula here, and you can see here is a very different formula altogether. So this formula is, again, Python will evaluate this formula. uh, I am able to use quite a few formulas right now, and we have been able to address a lot of situations with this formula. Now, the number of raw materials, as of now, this system is only capable of handling one raw material. Yes, I know it's a uh, it's a limitation, but it addresses my organization's requirements. But yes, I know I've tried to make it in such a way that you can have 2 or 3 or 4 raw materials as well. Here I defined how many number of raw materials are required for particular this item. Now, this BOM template itself is applicable for not just one item code. It's actually applicable for all those item codes where these restrictions, these variants are there. So basically what the system does is that sees the attribute and the attribute value and matches them. All the items which come under this uh, restrictions will have this BOM template as an applicability. So here you have two kind of attributes. One is a numeric attribute, and one are attributes like color is not a color is a text based attribute, right? But length is generally a numeric attribute. So in our case also, we have a lot of items where we have lengths and widths, so they are numeric. So here I have renamed it to OAL. L2mm is now renamed the field to OAL. Now it get referenced out here in FGOAL. Similarly, in raw material, we have the restrictions. So basically here I have defined the restrictions for the finished items. And at the bottom, I have defined the restrictions for the raw material. And if there is any work in progress which gets produced during the process of manufacturing those items, I have defined the restrictions for those raw materials, work in progress items. Now, the important point here is the operations. I have defined the operations here. Now, in the operations itself, we have defined the target warehouse. So effectively what is happening, I have defined that this is the name of the operation, what is the workstation, default workstation we will use, and the target warehouse. We are not currently using the R rate and everything, but we can use the, again, a formula based time, and the batch is also formula based. What we are currently using is that mainly the stock entry parts. Now, if you check the allow consumption of raw material, then only it will allow consumption of raw material. And then you will have to define from which warehouse you need to take out the raw material. And then also I have checked here as the production, allow production of WIP materials. Again, you have to define what is the end target warehouse for the this thing, work in progress. So effectively what we are trying to do in the BOM template itself is define everything for the user so that they don't have to do it all the time, because we used to have a lot of issue that a person had to select a RG warehouse, whereas effectively they used to select RM warehouse. So raw material warehouse is different for us, but with stock entries that used to happen a lot. And with this, we have kind of addressed that problem. Effectively, now
So,
in
Aditya,
this,
are you okay about taking questions, or do you want it at the end?
you have any questions, you can just throw it at me right now as well.
So just one quick one. So do you have separate item codes for each of the operation, or is it the same item code that flows?
For operations, you're saying?
Yeah, for each operation. So, if you just use out of the box ERPNext, right, and you want to go through operations, then you have to define a separate item at each
So
operation so
these,
that you can have.
so we have defined, there is an operation table in manufacturing itself. It's a standard table. We have had some small custom fields on this one, but it's the default table of operation which we have used. So we have defined only 17 operations in there effectively right now. I guess this is what you're asking for, right, Jay?
I mean, like, maybe this is another, feature of version 12 that I haven't explored. But basically, if there was a wire that was used to make a fastener, and it went through forging and then turning and then threading and all that kind of stuff, I had to use as many item codes -1 as the number of operations.
No, I don't think so. I'll just show you because I'll just show you because we are not doing we are operations is something very different than an item code. You don't need an item code for an operation as such. We are not using that. So you are saying what I can get it. Okay, what you are trying to say is that do we have an item code, separate item code for every work in progress item, right? That's what you're saying.
Correct.
No, we are
so
not. We are not. We're not going into that kind of a thing because effectively we can't sell anything which is work in progress. So effectively it has to go through these processes. Or even in your case, if somebody is making a bolt, let's say if you are making a bolt, you need a wire rod and you will need to first do the forging for the head part, then do the threading at the end. But before that, it does not become the finished product. So effectively what we are doing, I'll just show you that. So this is the finished item code. And what we see is that there are 878 pieces in this particular process. So, so we know that it is a work in progress warehouse. We are following that kind of a methodology. You can say whatever is best.
Say when you have
I don't know.
box that says produce work in process materials, what does it do? It just drops the same item code into that warehouse?
No, basically what happens is that in our case, a different kind of a finished item is also produced. So instead of doing a wasted, let's say if you have a 10 feet long bar and you want to cut 1 feet pieces, right? So you will cut 10 1 feet pieces, right? But what if the piece, your finished item length is 8 inches? So you will cut 8 inches, but at the end you will have probably a balanced piece of 6 inches. So what we do in that sense is that we, instead of wasting that 6 inches, we produce a 6-inch long another finished item. So that is the work in progress item for us.
Got it. Okay, sounds good.
Right. So
Sorry about that.
Yeah, that is what is work in progress. I think so. The correct wording would be not work in progress, but a different finished item itself, right?
Yep. Okay, got it.
So, so this restriction table is the same table. One is for finished items, one is for raw material. So this raw material one will basically tell the system which raw material to pick actually based on these formulas and all these attributes. So effectively what will happen, let's say, so this is one BOM template. I think now I should get to the process sheet itself. because without the process sheet, nobody gets to know what exactly is there. I'll just see if something is in draft, so that is going to be much more easier for everyone to understand. Let me just so let's see if I just go for this one. I've just randomly picked out anything. It's a normal, very simple tool. It's a round of 5 by 150. So if you see, if I try to create a new BOM template as well, a new process sheet, it will not let me create a new process sheet. So let's say if I try to, let's say if I want to create 1,000 piece, so it will already tell me that the process sheet for this particular item code is already in draft. So if there is one process sheet which is already in draft for an item code, it will ask me to first submit that process sheet, then only I can go for it. Now, the moment you select an item code, it will by default select any BOM template if it is applicable to it. So let's open this BOM template as well. So here, if you see, the base material is HSS round 1x, special treatment none, and D1 should be greater than 4. Effectively, if you will see, if I open this item code, if you see here, I just wanted to open this again and duplicate is not possible. Oh God. So basically what is happening is that this item code has all these attribute values, which is a standard feature, I guess. So this D1mm is greater than 4. That is why this BOM template is applicable. This BOM template is applicable. So the BOM, now I have probably, this BOM template is applicable to maybe around 1,000 items now. So with one BOM template, and if you can see, it is also telling me there are 2 BOM templates applicable for this. So if I don't like this BOM template, it is actually telling me it is supposed to make from raw material. WIP is in round tool, but I can select a BOM template manually as well. So it will just show me 2 BOM templates which are applicable, BOM template number 30 and 100 as well. So there are 2 BOM templates. Basically, both the BOM templates are applicable to thousands of items, but they are giving you 2 options to manufacture one same finished item. One is from the raw material, the other is from an intermediary item. So similarly, you can have probably 10 BOM templates applicable to a single item itself, with different, probably different raw material getting consumed in a different process itself. Anyhow, what the system does is that it automatically, you can see it is giving me an auto quantity. So the system in the settings which I had shown you, that it is calculating the quantity automatically. Those settings are the ones which will control how much quantity it calculates. If I increase that, you can increase these quantities in those settings. I have an option to actually update the quantity manually as well. And if I choose this as 500 and if I just save it, what it will do is that define all the routing as well. It is just giving me a message that automatic quantity is 190, but you're trying to manufacture 500. Now, in this, it has defined all the processes. It is also selected the raw material consumed. Now, if you see, it is giving me an option right now. And the raw material consumed is based on these uh, formulas and all the attribute values. So what I'm telling the system is that find raw material which is greater than the diameter of that and less than the diameter plus 3. So it is gonna give me all the raw materials in this range which are greater than 5 and less than 8. So effectively, you see, I get 5.8. It is also showing me it is 88 kgs is available. I have an option to choose show me unavailable raw material as well. The moment I click this, it will clean the raw material consumed again. And now if I save, now it may show me all the item codes, even if they are not available as well. So it is showing me 5, 5.4, 5.6, 5.8, 6, 6.2, all up till 8 mm because my formula is to include up till 8. If I can, it's a JavaScripted formula. You can have n number of conditions with ors and ands. Uh, so here you have, so if you see here, it's a very complex thing. If you can define a formula like this, it's all up to the persons who can define it. So effectively what happens is that once the manager defines the BOM template, he basically forgets about it and all the other people can actually use effectively what raw material is being used. The future is that the system should automatically select the raw material, submit it as well based on certain rules and conditions. I can also change the raw material source warehouse as well from here. But currently it is going to select the raw material from the raw material which I have defined in the BOM template itself. But if I want to change the raw material, I can definitely do that at the time of the process sheet submission itself. Now what happens is that the moment I have to submit this. So since I had defined only one raw material is to be used, I cannot submit this process sheet with multiple raw materials. So effectively, I'll just delete these. And again, if I'll save this, so again, it has actually calculated that 18 kgs of raw material is needed out of 88. And this calculation is based on this formula, which I had defined in the BOM template itself. And with our usage, we have found out that the calculation has come out to be within 10%. Now, again, this is the WIP. So it is actually giving me an option that we can produce these items as well. What we do is that the moment I submit it, it will take 500 pieces of this item into planning. So this is submitted. I think it did not create the job cards. Process job cards. It did not create the job cards because we must already have the job cards for this item already. And that's a rule which we have kept in our organization. effectively it creates all the job cards here. So now, if you see here, this is the first. Now we come back to the job cards itself. What job card does is gives you a priority, uh, starting from 1 to 1000. Even if I try to change the priority, it will come back to 9 itself. It's an automatically calculated priority itself. Now, there are a few validations. You have to enter the workstation. The operation, nobody can change. Target warehouse, you can't change. In this case, source warehouse is not there because we are consuming raw material and producing a new item. Here you can enter the timings, from time to time. What is the control completed quantity? So this is for 400 pieces, right? So if I enter 410, it can, and if I save it, and it will say that you need to consume around 13 kgs of this raw material automatically. Now, if I try to submit this entry, so it will tell me that entered quantity 0 in row 1 should be between 12.9 to 14.7. Anything between this is possible, but you can't just consume zero raw material and produce 400 pieces. This used to happen a lot with us. So I'll have to be, I cannot do 1000 kgs here and submit it. Again, and the moment you, I'll just, and the moment you submit a process sheet, it will automatically create the required. It will consume the raw material and it will produce the finished items. Just like here, if I can see if any one. So here there are 13 quantity available. It's a transfer entry. I'll just try to do a 13 piece entry here. So here, if you see, there is nothing, there is no raw material consumption, there is no WIP manufacturing because I have not checked that in the BOM template itself. Now, there are 13 pieces available. If I'll do this, if I submit the job card, it automatically created a stock entry at the back end. And it also created another process sheet because job card, sorry, because actually the job card was for 383 and it created a job card for balance 370 pieces. And it also transferred the entry from source warehouse to the, so effectively what exactly is happening, the people who are doing manufacturing, they are least bothered about what is the source warehouse, what is the target warehouse. They are more concerned about, on machine I have manufactured this much item, especially in a manufacturing environment. That is what I have, at least in a small organization like ours, this happens. So this stock entry, now they are only submitting the job cards. And I think so this is something what we have done. I just want to show you how exactly submitting a process sheet will do. What will a process sheet submission do? So if you see, it goes 900 pieces are in planning. Basically, once you submit a product process sheet, it is similar to the work orders, right? In ERPNext, what we do is that once we submit a work order, it goes into planning. And similarly, in process sheet follows the same logic. Once you submit a process sheet, so 500 and 400 are already in progress, and 900 is shown as in planning. And based on this, we have certain reports as well. So one report is for process sheet analysis. Basically, this here it is giving everybody what is a draft process sheet they need to submit actually, and everything has a priority onto it. So this item, let's say this item is there, item number 2, it is giving a priority of 1. Why is it giving a priority of 1? Is basically, if I'll just let you know, is that we have an order for this item 2370 pieces is an order. We have planning of 2648, whereas in the finished stock we only have 4 items. So obviously this is and in work in progress it's 78 pieces, so it's not there in production anywhere. And the reorder level itself, which is a monthly consumption, is 300. So we are kind of out of stock on this item, and that is why this item has a priority of 1. Basically the priorities are based on the values as well and how old the order is. So if there is an order which is 100 days old, the priority for that order will be number 1. It's based on, again, it's a complex formula where I have tried to link the value of the order with the age of the order. That is again on the code. We can have a different session onto that. So effectively what happens, a person opens this report, he sees priority number 1, he works on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and goes up till 39. Right now we are using up till 39. You can go up till 999 as well. That's similarly for job cards. We have a report. This is for planning actually. Here itself, it will, you can have various, so again, these are all the job cards which we can actually work on. And if you see, we have given some, so these are the priority. Again, everything is sorted by the priority itself. Number 1 priority is the one which production people need to take first, second, third, fourth. Again, everything is by priority. Priority is again based on what is more important for our customers. Which order has a higher value, which order has a higher date, age. So if it's a 1-day order, a 10-day order will have a higher importance based on, assuming they are of the same value. I guess with this, I give you a brief introduction onto the production job card thing. If anybody has any questions, I'll be happy to answer those questions. Hello?
You know, this is awesome, and you know what you built. You know, Aditya, and you
Yep.
said that you did programming on this. You did it all by hacking.
Well, I have done all the programming. It's on GitHub itself. It's again open source. What I would want, from the bottom of my heart, it becomes a part of the ERPNext main product itself, because I have tried to give the idea from the perspective of a user, not from a perspective of a developer. So I've tried to actually address a lot of issues which we used to face in manufacturing. And with this system, yes, the biggest problem in manufacturing with the kind of, with the number of items we used to have, is, I'll just share my screen again, I guess. I'll just show you. I have around about 10 to 20,000 items which we are selling on a regular basis. And it becomes very difficult for us, for even a normal manager, to understand uh, which item he has to produce first and which is second and third and fourth. So there are like what, 2,000 in this table, no more, 3,000, 4,000 in this table, another 8,000 in another table. Hello?
Yeah.
So basically what we have tried to address here is that we want our employees to know that what is more urgent. Effectively, what we used to do earlier is that tell the urgency manually. Now the system runs a cron job every hour. If you submit an order for an item, that item becomes more urgent. It creates the process sheet automatically. It updates the priority of all the job cards on an hourly basis. I'll just try to show you a job card. Yeah. So let me check if there is a job card where.
Where the cron job has changed the priority over a period of time.
Yes,
That's what
yes,
you're saying.
yes. I just wanted to, I'm just, because since this is, yeah, I think so. Yeah, this is a 2 month old, must have changed. So I am logged in. So once I say you, I am logged in as the administrator. Uh, Administrator changed the quantity available 3 months ago. Status from this to this, posting date. So it changed the priority from 38 to 39 1 month ago. So effectively, the system said this is lower priority. Let's not do that. So this is 21. So here you can see. So you is the administrator. The administrator changed the posting date from 31 to 21, 21 to 31, then 31 to 21. Effectively, somebody must be playing with the orders, and it changed every hour. On 19th of November, it changed from this, but on 5th of December, so somebody might have canceled the order, it became less important again. So this is how the administrator runs a cron job at the back end and changes the priorities, which is kind of very helpful for our, and that is why this, we can change this priority manually, but the system will automatically calculate it. Again, it's up to the designers if you want to make the priority manual. My decision was it needs to be automated, everything. So that is why I've not allowed anything. But it's not a major issue, I think so.
Yeah.
Any other
And do you have
questions?
any controls built in that says, like, for an operator, if he tries to pick one, item for manufacturing, it says, hey, wait a minute, you have another, item which is higher priority. So finish that first before you take this up.
So what
Or are the operators allowed to do whatever they want?
yes, so we have workstations, right? So every operator knows their process. So let's say I'll go for the final operation. It is a marking operation. So the operator sitting on the marking workstation, or he opens this report, he is only able to see the marking uh, operation. So he's not able to see any other operation itself. So everybody knows priority one is the most urgent. Then he'll go for two. So he will start to work on 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Now, obviously, you can say out of these 10 items in one, which one he does. That is a choice I have given to them. But you see, one and two, the choice is very less. So everybody is working based on priority. And you don't have to handhold everybody for that kind of a thing. So every operator, effectively what actually happens is that every person who is managing that operation opens that operation and sees what items are to be manufactured based on the priority.
And your formula, the other question is that your formula picks the raw material based on that BOM template, the formula that you've given in the BOM template.
Yeah.
And how do you
So
ensure that the, when the manufacturing entry or the stock entry is passed, I'm sure it's
mhm.
consuming the raw material that's derived by this particular formula. How do you
Right.
ensure that the reality and the shop floor and this match appropriately?
Well, actually, this formula, as I said, basically what happens is that we have our raw material in kilograms. So our raw material is stored in kgs. So if I'll just show you that process sheet. So what we have to do, but we manufacture item by the numbers. So we have to convert. There is a conversion factor, and it is based on a formula. Uh, the formula is you take out the volume, multiply it by the density, and you get, and multiply it by the quantity, and you get it. So effectively, that is just pi r square L. That's it. It's nothing but pi r square L. That is the uh, volume of a cylinder, multiplied by the quantity, multiplied by the density. 8 is the density of our material, divided by 1000, so divide by 4. Since I'm doing diameter, the dia is 4, and I have converted into kilograms, so I have divided it by 10 raised to power 6 actually. So you can enter any formula. If a formula could be applicable to your own uh, process itself, it could be different. Uh, Sometimes we also use that 100 mm length uh, thing is cut from a 200 mm length thing. So in that case, the formula changes. You get two finished items from one raw material. I have found it to be kind of flexible enough in our case, at least. Yes, definitely. That is why I had actually pinged it to posted it on the forums itself. Uh, Surely, if 100 people try to use it, they will definitely find certain limitations into it. But uh, in our case, yes, BOM templates was always a no-go, and we've never used a BOM. We have never used a BOM ever in our organization. With for the last 10 years, we never used a BOM. So it's much better off than the
Excellent.
manual stock entries.
I mean, this is awesome. Amazing work that you guys have done, and congratulations.
I'll be more happy if people start using it, because that's more important, I guess, for an open source.
Absolutely. So, can you post the link to the GitHub, or just bring that other link onto the top of the discuss forum again, if you don't
What
mind?
I'll do, I'll post that forum itself on the forum itself. It's a GitHub link. It's on my repository itself. I'll also mention which items are actually needed. I will say yes. If people are using attributes and variants, then variants and item templates and item attributes, if they are using templates and variants, it's applicable for those people actually.
Okay.
I also have a question regarding the contribution to ERPNext. You said that you would love it to become a part of ERPNext. Do you have any concrete plans about how this could
Well,
be contributed?
I'm not part of the ERPNext team as such. Uh, and since not a lot of people, not a lot of people are, none of them are there from the ERPNext team. I can't really comment whether it'll be a part of the ERPNext standard.
Yeah,